is a camera, which I see before me, focused toward my face. Oh, it is, and you're already recording. Oh, well, in that case, welcome to the first episode of Shakespeare Said, what? In which every episode I will take a scene or a monologue from Shakespeare's works and perform it for you. And then afterwards, I will find something in it that we can learn about. And then afterwards, I'll give it a little breakdown of one specific subject related to that scene or monologue. All right, let's jump right in. I hope you enjoy. Oh. What a rogue and peasant slave am I. Isn't it monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, can force his soul so to his own conceit that from her working all of his visage wane, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for what? For Hecuba? What is she to him, or he to her, that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and that for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty, appall the free, confound the ignorant, and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy-middled rascal, peak like Jonadreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Beats my pate across, plucks the beard from off my chin, blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie of the teeth as deepest to the lungs. Who does me this, huh? Swoons, I should take it, for it cannot be but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or ere this I should have fatted the whole region's kites with this slave's offal. Bloody body, villain, treacherous, lecherous, kindless, remorseless villain! Well, what an ass am I. This is most brave that I, the son of a dear murdered, prompted by heaven and hell to my revenge, must like a whore unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab a stallion. Fie upon it! Ugh! About my brains! I've heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malfactions. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father unto mine uncle. I'll observe his looks, I'll tend him to the quick, and if he do blench, I know my course. The spirit I have seen may be a devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape, and perhaps, in my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have more relative grounds than this. The play is the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. So, for this first episode, I wanted to explore Shakespeare's Odes. You know what I meant. I don't know if you're familiar with his actual texts, but if you are not, every so often, or quite a bit, Shakespeare writes the simple letter O. It's not O-H, just the letter O. And I don't think a lot of people, me included, really knew what that meant. A lot of people will tell you that it is actually the letter O. So when you're performing, you have to say, oh, what a rogue, and that just never felt actual or real to me. So I said, let's figure this out. Let's explore it. What I learned was that actually what it is it's just a marker for an emotional expression. Shakespeare uses vowels in his regular words to express emotional states. So if a character is in a lot of emotional distress or a heightened emotional state, the scene or the monologue will be written with a lot of vowel-heavy words. This is really fascinating, and it's not something a lot of writers do anymore, I don't think. I might be wrong about that. If you have examples, please tell me. But it's really cool and it's fascinating, and a way that he did this even more was with these letter O's, which, as I came to discover, was not actually any sort of really written thing. I mean, that's how it is in the folios, but what it actually denoted was a point in which the original performer had given some sort of emotional expression that actually maybe wasn't even the letter O. It was just some sort of guttural noise that came from their real emotional place, or something Shakespeare had written in to let the actor know that at that particular point he wanted that. That's really cool. And it means that you don't actually have to say the letter O. You can say something like, I don't know if you noticed, but at the beginning when I did it, I said ow, because that felt the most truthful to me. Is I think Hamlet's in a lot of pain at that point, and he's saying ow. The line right before that he says is, now I'm alone. And I don't know if you've ever been alone, but when I'm alone, I feel a lot of pain and a lot of hurt right here. And on top of that, Hamlet's lost his dad, his mom, his kingdom, his education, everything's gone. He's completely alone. So he's saying, ow. And as soon as I started trying to do this speech with that, instead of, oh, what a rogue, which sounds very big and large and it doesn't feel real to me, I suddenly connected with it, and it just suddenly made sense to me. Now, what I think is really cool about this particular speech, especially with the O thing, is there's actually two of them. And I didn't realize that until I was actually performing it, which is really cool, because it meant that I didn't get to pre-analyze this. But there's actually two of these in this speech, and the second one occurs, it's not the letter O, but he says F-O-H, which is also another weird exclamation that Shakespeare has a lot of. And it's just faux, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the same thing as that simple letter O. It's somebody being in a state of such heightened emotional credence that they can't actually do anything but just gutturally express. And to me, that makes a lot of sense there, because the very next line is simply I have heard, which is 4 syllables. And in case you didn't know, Shakespeare writes with iambic pentameter, which is 10 syllables a line. So to only have 4 syllables in a line means that there are 6 missing syllables. And sometimes you'll have 11 or 9 syllables, which is an indication that this character's sort of losing a little bit. To have 6 unaccounted for syllables means that there's something explosive going on there. And the fact that faux comes right before that, I think, is really an indication of another one of those emotional expressions. This is something so cool I learned this episode with a little help from a masterclass I took with Fiona Shaw a while ago, where these O's are the key a lot of times to what's going on with the character. And they're not these awkward, unemotional, you just gotta say something because it's written moments, but they are in fact maybe his truest moments for the characters, especially Hamlet, because Hamlet has a lot of O's, I gotta tell you. So thank you for sharing this O moment with me, and I hope to see you the next episode. If you enjoyed, tune back in. I'd love to hear what you think about this. I'm not saying I'm any sort of expert, these are just discoveries, so if you have something to add or a disagreement or anything, I'd love to hear it in the comments. And if someone can tell me what quote I parodied at the beginning of this episode, I will shout you out in the next one. So thank you. I'll see you next time. And the rest is silent.